all on this topic on gestational diabetes in pregnancy. And I would also like to express my heartfelt gratitude to Baby Chakra and its entire team for giving me this opportunity to speak on this topic. I would also like to highlight few practical points on this topic today, which most of my patients ask me when they are diagnosed with this condition. I would also request all of you to download the Baby Chakra app and use the referral code Shweta S for any further queries on the same topic or any other women related queries. Now, let us start without wasting a single minute. Now, first of all, I will start the talk with saying that why it is necessary to screen for sugars in a pregnant lady. Now, pregnancy and its associated hormonal changes bring about some type of diabetes which is already pre existing in a pregnant woman. So, that means that all pregnant women can have diabetes in pregnancy, but it is not all who suffer or require treatment during pregnancy. So then which are the women which require treatment and which are the women which require further management in this aspect. Now there are a subset of women which will tolerate these changes of pregnancy and its associated hormonal changes very well, and they do not precipitate in the form of diabetes. But there are a few subset of women which do not tolerate these pregnancy changes and its hormonal related changes, and therefore they manifest themselves as diabetes for the first time in pregnancy. Now, as I told you, why it is important to screen. Now, it is important to screen and detect this condition at the earliest because it is associated with n number of complications on the maternal side, on the fetus side, and also in the newborn. Now, the complications which are seen in the mother include increase in increase in the liquor, which is known as polyhydramnios in our language. It is also associated with changes in hypertension. It is also associated with rise in BP and its associated complications. Then there is increased risk of cesarean delivery in the mother, and there is something known as a big baby which these mothers usually have. Now, when we talk on the fetus side, on the baby which is inside, on that aspect, it can lead to structural defects in the baby, especially involving the vital organs, which are the heart, lung, kidney, and the brain. Then there is also a risk of having big babies, that is, a baby weight which is more than 4,000 grams. Not only that, there are also risk of having a sudden death inside the womb of the mother. And when the baby is born, at that time there are risks like sudden decrease in the blood sugar levels. They require admission in the neonatal care unit. They require a treatment for if they develop any seizures, and so on and so forth. It not only limits to this, but later on in childhood, these babies can have a high risk of obesity. They are at a risk of developing diabetes, a childhood diabetes, and also neuropsychiatric complications. Now, as I told you, then which women we need to screen and when do we screen for sugars during pregnancy? Now, the ideal time for testing for sugar in pregnancy is between the month of 24 to 28 weeks, that is 6 to 7 months. Now, if the woman has a previous history of diabetes in previous pregnancy, if she has a family history of diabetes in the family, especially either of her parents or both of her parents, a woman who has a history of polycystic ovarian disease before pregnancy, women who are women who are very obese, that means those who have a very high pre-pregnancy weight with a BMI of more than 30, women where there was a big baby weight of more than 400 grams in the previous pregnancy, a woman who had a history of increased liquor in previous pregnancy, that is known as polyhydramnios, or a woman who had a risk of sudden death of the baby inside her womb, then all these women, they need to be screened as early as possible, especially if you get a chance in the first prenatal visit itself. Now, once you have screened the woman for gestational diabetes mellitus, and if that report comes out to be positive, Is it necessary to panic either on the patient side or on the doctor's side? It is not at all a panicky situation because it is the most controllable and most treatable condition. The only thing which is required is a right approach and a right attitude towards the disease. Now, the right approach would be on the doctor's part, and the right attitude would be on the part of the patient and her family. The next thing which most of my patients ask, or which I usually do for my patients when they are diagnosed with gestational diabetes in pregnancy, is to put them on something known as a lifestyle modification, which is the right approach towards the starting of treatment of gestational diabetes. Now, what is this lifestyle modification? It basically includes an approach where I change her dietary patterns and I change her sedentary lifestyle patterns. Now, what is the changes that you require in the diet? Now, their dietary modifications include changes where they have to exclude all kind of sugars, including natural sugars, refined sugars, artificial sweeteners, and any kind of simple carbohydrates. By simple carbohydrates, I mean jaggery and honey. That can be included in spite of the sugar. Now, this also has to be in proper limit. It cannot go beyond the proportion which is advised by your dietitian. Then any form of complex carbohydrates. Now, what are these complex carbohydrates? Mainly starch containing products like rice, potato, etc., have to be excluded from the diet. Apart from an obstetrician, I would also like these patients to be seen by a dietitian who can chart a proper diet from them. And the most important thing I told you, the right attitude, that is, the patient and her family has to support and follow these dietary restrictions. Now, when I come to the changing in the sedentary lifestyles, when I talk of that, that means involvement into exercises, which I think most of the Indian women are against that. But with a lot of education and lot of awareness, now people are involving in exercises. Now, people commonly ask me what kind of exercises. I advise them any kind of exercise that will induce sweating after the exercise is over is going to help these patients of gestational diabetes. Now, that exercise can be in the form of brisk walking, it can be swimming, it can be hopping, it can be skipping. But again, people tell me that in pregnancy all this is not allowed. In the initial weeks of pregnancy, after the 12 months, you can start doing basic exercises like brisk walking. It has to be done daily for 45 minutes. If not done daily, then at least 3 times in a week. And the minimum steps that has to be done is 10,000 steps daily on on that pedometer app which is available. Now, with diet and with exercise and with along with a dietitian and an obstetrician, with correct approach and correct attitude, this disease can be controlled to a much better extent. Now, where is the role of medicines or insulin when we talk of gestational diabetes? Now, these patients, the initial approach with diet and exercise, if it is showing a good control, the patient is advised to do a sugar monitoring, that is 4 times in a day. And the goals for sugar monitoring are that her fasting levels should be less than 92, her 1 hour after meal sugar should be less than 140, and 2 hour sugar after meal should be less than 120, with a 3 month sugar of around less than a, that is HbA1c of less than 6.7%. If these goals are reached with only lifestyle and diet modification, then the woman is controlled with this throughout her 9 months of pregnancy. If any time there is a deterioration in the sugar or these goals are not reached, then here comes the role of a diabetologist along with medicines and insulin. But I have seen that if majority of my patients who follow these diet and lifestyle modifications, they really do well throughout the 9 months of pregnancy. There are only a few set of patients, who require treatment in the form of drugs and in the form of insulin. Then, what patients really ask me later on is, as and when they progress towards their delivery date, they ask me the mode of delivery. Now, the mode of delivery in these patients can be depending upon their sugar control and depending on their baby size. If the sugars are well controlled, if the baby size is not too large, which is usually seen when the sugars are well controlled, and if the birth passage is adequate for this baby size, then these babies can be allowed to deliver vaginally or normally. But if any time during her last 10 to 15 days of her delivery date, if the sugars are uncontrolled, if the recent USG sonography is showing a baby weight which is more than 4,000 grams, then these patients should not be given a trial and they should be directly planned for an elective cesarean delivery because of the risks that I told you already. So let your doctor or your obstetrician decide the right mode of delivery for you. And on your part, you have to just follow the right approach with the right attitude to control this gestational diabetes mellitus. Then, most patients also ask me that after delivery, how often do I need to monitor my sugars, doctor? So, after the delivery is over, the first sugar monitoring should be done after 6 weeks of delivery because these women who develop gestational diabetes for the first time in pregnancy have a risk of developing proper diabetes mellitus or over diabetes mellitus, which is a risk of about 40%. So, after the delivery, the first monitoring should be done at 6 weeks, and after that, it should be done annually till the woman reaches at the age of 40 years. Thank you. Hello. I would like to answer any questions related to this topic. Yes, gestational diabetes can affect the baby. Now, there are baby can be affected in the form when it is inside the womb, when it is also when somebody has asked me, can gestational diabetes affect the baby? Yes, it can affect the baby. When the baby is inside the womb, that time also it can affect, and after the delivery of the baby, also it can affect, and later on in the childhood, also it can affect. So, when the baby is inside the womb, the baby can have complications like structural deformities involving the important organs like the brain, the heart, the lung, and the kidney. Then baby can also have certain complications like which I told you, that because the baby weight is very high, these women have a baby weight which is more than 4,000 grams, and therefore at the time of delivery they can go into a condition which is known as shoulder dystocia, which in common language means that their shoulders get impacted and it is difficult to deliver the shoulders, leading to injuries to the neck and the shoulder. Then there can be complications. Then there can be complications after the baby is born, which leads to sudden fall in the blood glucose levels. They require admission in the neonatal care unit because they have a chances of breathing issues. And later on, when they grow into infancy, they can have complications like obesities, like diabetes mellitus at a very early age, and also neuropsychiatric complications. The other question which somebody has asked me is what causes gestational diabetes during pregnancy? Now, as I told you, pregnancy and its related hormones produce a state of diabetes in a woman's body. They produce a condition which is known as insulin resistance. Now, what happens in insulin resistance is insulin is a normal hormone which is secreted by the pancreas, and the function of this insulin is to absorb all the glucose from the blood and store it in the form of fat and in the skeletal muscles and the liver. So whenever there is diabetes, especially in pregnancy, there is this insulin is released, but it is not able to carry out its normal functions, and therefore the blood glucose levels remain high, and that is the reason they cause gestational diabetes. Yes. The other question which has been asked is, do mothers with gestational diabetes deliver early? No. Mothers with gestational diabetes have a tendency to prolong their date of delivery. So, what we doctors do is we plan their delivery before the 10 days of the given EDD because they are at increased risk of having something known as a sudden death of the baby inside the uterus. So therefore we never allow the pregnancy to prolong beyond the date of EDD, that is the estimated date of delivery. We always plan their delivery 10 days prior to the expected date of delivery. Does gestational diabetes make baby more active? No, it is not like that. In fact, a high exposure to a high sugar makes the baby lethargic. Can I deliver at 37 weeks with gestational diabetes? Yes, you can. If your sugars are controlled, if your baby weight has reached the required maturity, then you can deliver at 37 weeks. But if your sugars are not well controlled, then you need to control sugars and then plan your delivery. What are the warning signs of gestational diabetes? There are no warning signs as such, but when you undergo a sonography and you find that your Likert has increased with an AFI or an amniotic fluid index of more than 25 centimeters, then you should screen the woman for diabetes. If you have a baby weight which is more than the average Indian baby weight, that is between 2.5 to 2.8 kg, in our language, it is termed as a baby weight of more than 4,000 grams at term. If you have undergone a sudden IUFD, that is an intrauterine fetal demise in the previous pregnancy, then you need to be checked in this next pregnancy as soon as possible. These are basic red flags, I can say, which can tell us that this woman can have a gestational diabetes in the current pregnancy. How can I control gestational diabetes in the third trimester? I told you, gestational diabetes, the first approach in any trimester is lifestyle modifications in the form of dietary changes and in the form of exercise. If you maintain the glucose levels as per the goals, that is fasting of less than equal to 92, 1 hour glucose, 1 hour post meal glucose of less than equal to 140, and a 2 hour post meal glucose of less than equal to 120, with a 3 month HbA1c sugar control of less than 6.7 on diet and lifestyle, then you can continue that. If any time in any trimester you deteriorate and you could not maintain the sugars with this control, then we need to put you on medicines and insulin. Can you get rid of gestational diabetes during pregnancy? Sorry, there is no way you can get rid of it. You can only control gestational diabetes by the right approach, a right attitude, with a multidisciplinary approach of an obstetrician, a dietitian, and and a diabetologist. But you can't get rid of it. I'm really very sorry. Do you gain more weight with gestational diabetes? Yes. You can gain more weight if you do not have a proper dietary restriction and you do not exercise, because hyper, as I told you, that there is a state of insulin resistance. Means insulin is secreted but it's not able to perform its functions, and therefore there is increased fatty acids and increased fat deposition, and therefore there is more weight gain. Cannot eating enough cause gestational diabetes? I did not get the question. At what sugar level is insulin required during pregnancy? I told you the cutoffs. If you are not maintaining the cutoffs like fasting, which is more than equal to 92, a, a random blood sugar, or you have a 2 hour post meal sugar which is more than 200, and a 1 hour fasting sugar which is more than 140, is the time where you, for a prolonged period, in spite of diet, in spite of exercise, you are not maintain, in spite of diet, exercise, and oral drugs, you are not maintaining your sugars properly, then it is the time that you switch on to insulin. Now, what are the normal blood sugar levels during pregnancy? The normal blood sugar levels, I again told you the same cutoffs. It is fasting should be less than equal to 92. Your 1 hour post meal should be less than equal to 140, and your 2 hour post meal sugar should be less than equal to 120. With a 3 month sugar control should be, that is an HbA1c value of less than 6.7%. eating less can cause gestational diabetes? No, there is nothing like that. Gestational diabetes mainly is caused by a condition which is known as insulin resistance, and this insulin resistance is having a genetic prediction. So, if you have a family history, if your mother or father is diabetic, then there is a risk of you having diabetes in pregnancy of around 40%. And if both your parents are diabetic, then you have a risk of having diabetes in pregnancy, which is around 70%. Last question for the day: should I be worried about gestational diabetes? See, I told you that there is no need to press the panic button or the anxiety button as soon as you are labeled as gestational diabetes, because it is a very much controllable disease if it is managed with the right approach and the right attitude. The right approach is on the part of the doctors, which involves an obstetrician, a dietitian, and a diabetologist. And on the part of the patient is the right attitude from the part of the patient and her family members to follow whatever diet restrictions and whatever exercise we have been recommended to you. So the last takeaway points on this topic would be to maintain yourself as active as possible during pregnancy, to have a proper dietary chart and to follow it. Pregnancy does not mean that you have to eat for two people. Your baby will extract nutrients from you, but you have to have a totally healthy and a balanced diet with lot of activity during pregnancy if you want to prevent diabetes mellitus, especially if you are having a history in your mother or father. Last and not the least, there is nothing to panic if you are diagnosed with gestational diabetes. You have to follow whatever your doctors advise, and you have to just be relaxed and keep on following whatever their advices are. I would also like to request you all to follow my social media pages. That is drshweta.social at instagram.com, drshweta.social at facebook.com, and also download the Baby Chakra app and follow me using my referral code, that is Shweta S. It was a very nice session and it was a great pleasure interacting with all of you. I would also like to thank the Baby Chakra app and all its team members for giving me this platform today for interacting with all the patients who had so many queries on gestational diabetes. And I hope that I have resolved most of your queries.